Alrighty, we are officially good to go on week 2 of the fantasy football simulcast. Tony, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I can't complain. I'm doing well. It was a great week of football. We have a lot to
Mm-hmm.
talk about. I'm excited.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get underway. First and foremost, I know the answer, but I gotta ask just so people watching will know. How'd you do in your matchup
Mm-hmm.
this week?
I took an L. So I played against Josh Allen and Cooper Cup, and they both got over 30. And yeah, not great.
That is a tough one. That is a tough one, for sure. I'm gonna be honest. The minute you left, I said, "Oh, Tony's sad. I don't think he's gonna win." But, but we've also been in the league for so long. You just know people's mannerisms.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, I was all week for me. I won my matchup, but literally by a sliver. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you saw the final score, Tony, of my matchup, which was
Yep.
bonkers. It was 118.35 to 118.25.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember who I texted, but someone said, I think you got it. You should be fine. I said, yeah, but it's going to be a lot closer than I thought. Sure enough, it was due to my opponent's kicker scoring 26 points.
I mean, win's a win.
Yeah, exactly. We're both multi-time champions. We know what it takes to win. But anywho, yeah, let's get rolling. Let me pop up. You want to go? You want to start first with the two matchups you wanted to talk about?
Sure. The first matchup I'm going to talk about is the Bills and Cardinals. This was a really good game. It was really back and forth. The Cardinals started off the game the best, but the Bills finished it off. The Bills were the second half team and, got the job done. I know all too well that Josh Allen went off in this game. Went 18 for 23. He had 232 passing yards and two touchdowns. And the big killer was he had two rushing touchdowns as well. And he went 9 carries for 39 yards. The other star for the Buffalo Bills was James Cook, who went 19 for 71. He's getting a lot of work. So that's good if you're a James Cook fantasy owner. So for the receivers, he really spread the ball around. No one really went off, but people did okay. Keon Coleman, their rookie, went 4 catches for 51 yards. And the scores for the Bills were Khalil Shakir, who had 42 yards in a score, and Matt Collins, who had 25 yards in a score. And the big surprise on the Bills side of the ball was Dalton Kincaid only having 1 catch for 11 yards. So that was kind of the big. He was the big disappointment on that side of the ball.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. On that, one thing I want to throw in a little tidbit. I saw on Twitter. Um, there were he was getting triple covered at times in that game.
mm-hmm,
There was like five.
yeah,
There was like at least 5 plays they showed where he was triple covered, if not quadruple covered. So it's like you kind of had to expect that out of them.
mm-hmm,
They're like, okay, he's like they're only like Khalil Shakir here. Like, okay, he it might be a week. His week might not. Like Kincaid's like the only like known like threat. And
yeah,
it's like let's just take him out of the game and make other people win it for him. But yeah,
yeah.
I did notice that. You would think he would have had some like quick out routes or something just to like get like 5 catches all within like 5 yards, kind of maybe get the ball rolling a little bit. But that
Mm-hmm.
just never happened with him.
Yeah, and then the Cardinals, it was a close game, but Kyler Murray obviously did not come through. He did most of his damage in the first half. He is my fantasy QB. I could have used a little more from him. He went 21 for 31 for 162 yards and a touchdown, and he always does that stuff on the ground. He had 57 rushing yards to top that off. Um, the best player for the Cardinals was James Conner, who only averaged 3 yards a carry. So he went 16 for 50 in a score. And no one really went off for the receivers on the Cardinals. The best receiver was Greg Dortch, who went 6 for 47. McBride didn't do much. He went 5 for 30. And the big disappointment was, of course, was Marvin Harrison Jr., who only had one catch for 4 yards.
Thank
Sometimes rookies
God.
start slow. I'm not too worried about him, to be
Yeah,
honest.
I'm not worried about him either. I was actually really scared of him this weekend because I went up against him, and with him only getting one catch for 4 yards, I kind of expected he wasn't going to do much, but I was expecting like 7 or 8 fantasy points.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's just I was just like, okay, please no more catches, and that literally
Hmm.
happened. How often do you see like the thing is he went crazy, had like 10 for 150 and 3 scores. The next
Hmm.
3 weeks he's getting shut down. Like they're gonna
Yeah.
be like he's not gonna produce. So the fact that he had a quiet game, I think he's gonna just progressively get better and better and better and better.
I do too. I remember it was like that with Jamar. He was kind of quiet and then he just took off.
Well, it was preseason. He was dropping passes. He was wide open drops, like he contested drops. And then week one
Hmm.
or two, he like absolutely exploded, and he goes, "Yeah, I'm ready. The football is not too big."
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's good.
So yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I have for that game. I can hop on to my next game while I'm at it.
Let me go into my first game I wanted to talk about.
All
Um,
right.
it was the Pats and Bengals. Shocker, Pats fan talks about the Pats. But no, it wasn't really just the stat scores or anything because the stat sheets were not that good. Jacoby Brissett 15 for 24 with 120 on passing yards. He also had 32 rushing yards. Ramondre had a great day at 25 carries, buck 20 and a touchdown. He also caught a couple balls. Really nothing to write home about in the receiving category. Austin Hooper did lead the team with 31 receiving yards. Bengals side, Joe Burrow wasn't much better. He was 21 for 29 with a buck 64 passing. No touchdowns, no picks. Zach Moss was 9 carries, 44 yards, touchdown. Jamar Chase, surprisingly, actually had better numbers than I thought. He was 6 for 62. Although he did have Christian Gonzalez covering him for a good chunk of the game. So bad numbers for him. But like, I mean, he was getting locked down most of the game.
Yeah.
It was kind of a defensive showcase. Um, on the Patriots side, they throttled
Hmm.
the Bengals. They had what, like 4 sacks or something like that. Um,
Yeah.
no, it looks like they only had 3 sacks to be total, but 2.5 by Kyle Duggar. I mean, by Keon White. Actually,
Yeah.
Keon White. That's a name a lot of Patriot people forget because he got hurt early last year. He was
Hmm.
he was a rookie last year. Was big, strong, and looked ready. And then he got hurt like week 2.
Yeah.
Jawan Bentley had a pretty good day as well on the defensive side. But yeah, I mean, so the thing I wanted to talk about. Oh my gosh, the Patriots have Jermichael Hasty. I didn't even know that. The biggest thing I want to talk about, uh, offensive line for the Patriots looked better than everyone thought, and
Yeah.
Jacoby Brissett made a lot of veteran plays that Mac wasn't making last year. I
Hmm.
don't think the Patriots are going to make the playoffs, but I do think they're going to be like a sneaky, like maybe 7-win team this year because
Yeah.
I think they're going to hang in a lot more games than people thought, and he's going to just the veteran experience is going to help the team out, and then we'll see what happens with Drake May and everything. But yeah, I mean maybe not across the United States, but especially in New England, just like how the week was going. Everyone's like the Patriots might actually win Week 1, just because
Hmm.
primarily there's a lot of the news out of the Bengals. I think the Bengals are in danger. I think they're going to lose 6 or 7 games this year.
Yeah, I also think I know T. Higgins was out, and that's obviously a big deal. Them losing Tyler Boyd, maybe not as much fantasy wise, but them losing Tyler Boyd is huge. That slot receiver over the middle.
He was that guy.
They
He
don't have a replacement.
3rd and 7, gotta have it. Tyler Boyd
Hmm.
was your guy.
Yep.
He was like the he's like the Julian Edelman of the Bengals. Like
Hmm.
he's a chain mover. He might not load up the
Yep.
stat sheet, but when you need something, he can get it done for you.
Yep, for sure.
But yeah, I'm little. If you're a Bengals fan, I'd be a little bit on edge because I don't think like fantasy owners, like Joe Burrow owners, Zach Moss owners, uh, maybe Jamar owners, definitely T owners. I'd be a little bit shaky. I honestly, I say if you're a Zach Moss owner or a T Higgins owner, think about making a trade. sell high. No, like week one happened. Anything can happen week one, but maybe sell high because I got a bad feeling about their fantasy value going forward.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, I think you can manage, but T Higgins and Zach Moss, like
Mm-hmm.
I maybe sell high, but I know it's
Mm-hmm.
early, but that's what I want to. I think.
Yep.
All right, so Tony, you want to talk about game two?
Yep. I have the Dolphins and the Jaguars. The Dolphins. This is another kicker who did well. Sanders. He did really well for the Dolphins. He. Yep. And so on the Dolphins side of the ball, Tyreek Hill getting pulled over and put in handcuffs a couple hours before game time, but that did not affect him whatsoever because he went 7 catches, 130 yards, and a touchdown, including an 80-yard strike. So Tyreek Hill did his thing. He's back exactly where he picked up exactly where he left off last year, and his the other receiver Jalen Waddle didn't do too bad himself. He went 5 catches for 109 yards. So and Devin Akane, the running back, went 7 catches for 76 yards. So those are the clear top three weapons for Tua Tagovailoa, who went 23 for 37 for 338 yards and a score. This was a much closer game than I thought it was going to be. I thought Miami was going to blow the doors off, but Jacksonville hung in there. So if we go to the Jaguars side of the ball, Trevor Lawrence was very average. He went 12 for 21, 160 yards, 62 yards, and a touchdown. He was very average. The interesting part of it was the rushing. Travis Etienne and Tank Bigsby split carries, so that's very interesting. Tank Bigsby went 12 for 73, and Travis Etienne went 12 for 44. But Travis Etienne, the difference is he got a touchdown. But I think it's really interesting that they had the same amount of carries coming out of week one. I do think Etienne still has the job locked down, but it's definitely something to monitor. So the receiving for the Jaguars is Gabe Davis was the leader. He went 3 for 62. And then you have the rookie, who I think is going to have a great year, Brian Thomas Jr., who went 4 for 47 and a score. And Christian Kirk had a 30-yard catch. Etienne went 2 for 15, and the rest had a catch or less. So overall, this was a much closer game than I thought it was going to be, but Miami hung on. I think Miami's going to be very good this year, and I think Jacksonville's going to be very shaky.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It's funny. I saw a YouTube short of some like a sports roundtable podcast thingy, and someone said his dark horse pick of the draft is Tank Bigsby, and everyone started laughing, saying, "I would let me hear it. I want to hear it," and like them splitting reps. Like I was like, maybe that guy was onto something. I don't know, but
Yeah.
we'll see. I don't know. I think Jacksonville's a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
I don't think Trevor Lawrence is a true number one. I think he'll have like a Kirk Cousin level career.
Yeah.
Have some of his highs and lows. I don't think he's gonna be like even like a Josh Allen like type of guy. You know what I mean? Like Josh Allen's first year or two was rough in the league, and then he kind of came into his zone and everything. I don't think Trevor is really ever gonna echelon top 10, top 8. I
Yeah.
don't think so. I think he's like a 11 through 16 guy.
Yeah. You knew if Josh Allen was able to get his accuracy down packed, he was going to be elite.
Yeah.
And he did. So it's kind of like how Jalen Brown, when he first started, he wasn't that great. And then he learned not to turn the ball over. And then.
Crossing sports reference. Wow.
Yeah.
But
very similar. Josh was very raw when he came into the
yeah, and I don't think Trevor will find Tool. That's just my opinion, but what do I know?
Yep.
Alrighty. So I'm gonna go on to my next game. It was the Cowboys and the Browns. This game was over at halftime, but there were some key takeaways for it. I mean, Cowboys offense looking great as usual. Surprisingly, Zeke still can get it done. I thought he carried the ball really well. Didn't have the greatest fantasy performance. It was only 10 carries, 40 yards, and a touchdown. So, and he did rack in two catches, so he had like almost 12 points. Like not terrible, not great, but I think he's a great player to have on your bench. You know what I mean? Someone goes down, someone's on bye. I don't think it's a bad call to have Zeke on like stashed away. Rico Dowell, he didn't really take over the offense like what everyone thought he was gonna do. He only had 8 carries for 26 yards, and he only caught one ball. But I don't know. Zeke is definitely gonna vulture from like a lot this season because he's back with the Cowboys and everything. I mean, Dak didn't do much either. 19 for 32, $179 and a passing touchdown. But he also didn't need to do a lot because the game, like I said, game was over at halftime. On the other side of the ball. Yeah, other side of the ball, kind of a dumpster fire at quarterback. If anyone has him on your roster, drop him. You can definitely get better value. Rushing wise, Jerome Ford, I mean, you were expecting him to not get a lot of points because the Cowboys' rush D is so great. He had 12 carries to 44 yards, did have a garbage time rushing touchdown. Receiving wise, he had Njoku, 4 catches, 44 yards, but he got hurt like in the first quarter. So you can only imagine how his day would have performed. I'm pretty sure he got ruled out already. So he won't be around next week. Jordan Atkins is a streamer. If you're desperate for a tight end, maybe plug him in. I forget who the Browns are facing week 2. Oh gosh, I should remember it, but I do think that is like expect 5 for 40, 5 catches, 40 yards out of Jordan Atkins. Nothing special, but better than a bagel, right?
Yeah.
Sure. Jerome Ford also kind of had a lot of check down passes, 6 for 25. Jerry Jeudy, the one highlight, 3 catches, 25 yards, and a touchdown. In the receiver core, not great, but at least he salvaged with a touchdown. Amari Cooper, Elijah Moore were pretty much non-existent. I will say, though, I do think the Browns will bounce back. It was a rough game. The quarterback, D-Watt's he's not gonna do well. He's guaranteed for a pick or two, but he will be able, I'm sure he'll be able to get like 200 yards and a passing touchdown or two a lot. And then also their run game, you could see that, if they faced any other team, Jerome Ford probably would have had a pretty damn good day. It's just that D line of the Cowboys stifled any hole that was made.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they were also down both their tackles.
They were. Both of the tackles were out, so they come back. They're healthy. That O-line just gets that much better. So, no one should have D-Watt. Jerome Ford, Njoku, Atkins this weekend if you're desperate. Jerry Jeudy, Amari Cooper, Elijah Moore. I think you're fine for now. I wouldn't worry too much about dropping or trading those people. But Cowboys, things are looking great for them regular season as always. Browns, I don't think you have to worry just yet. Week 1 you face one of the best defenses in the league, so I wouldn't fret too much.
Yeah, I agree. Deshaun Watson did not look good. He did not look good at all.
I think he's gonna get a little bit better, but I don't think he'll be looking that much better throughout the season. But that being said, I think the receivers and the running backs and the tight ends will have better performances. D-Walk, I think he's a lock for an interception, at least one interception every week this year.
Yeah, he also hasn't been accurate, but his team is too good for them to be that bad. Like, he has a good team around him.
Exactly. But yeah, anywho, let it shift forward to our studs and duds of the week. We're going to highlight one offensive player, one kicker or defense for studs, and then our one dud. I will go first, Tony, and then you can go. Right. So my 2 studs, my first one, a little chalky, but I wasn't expecting him to do this well. Saquon Barkley. 24 rushes, 109 yards, and 2 touchdowns, plus 2 catches, 31 yards, and a receiving touchdown. Hat trick. 3 touchdowns. I was expecting him to get like a touchdown or 2. and 100 yards, but I wasn't expecting a hat trick, and I wasn't expecting, 140 all-purpose yards. I was expecting like 100 all-purpose yards out of him. But yeah, so I got to give props to Saquon. I faced him in one league. I own him in another. The second stud I want to talk about collectively is the Bears defense. Who would have thought they would have done this good? They had 3 sacks, 2 interceptions, fumble recovery, 2 defensive touchdowns, a block kick, and they only allowed 17 points. 26 fantasy points in most leagues. That's an amazing performance. That will win matchups for people. So
yes, it will.
Yeah, I mean, it won it for Morris. If you streamed Bears D week 1, I'm clapping for you.
Tip the cap.
Yeah, a little tip of the cap, standing ovation. That's a great pickup. So that was my second stud. My dud of the week was Zamir White.
Ooh, yeah.
He had 13 carries for 44 yards, 2 catches for 2 yards. Dude, you just got the starting role, and I think you already threw it away.
To Alexander Madison, who's terrible.
Yeah, it's like he's great as a second RB2 and like a plug and play person, but you face the Chargers. Their defense is not. Yeah, they got a Bosa, but their defense, you should have been able to run at least 65 yards on them.
Yeah, I agree.
I
said the Raiders were going to struggle. Their O-line's not good.
Yeah.
I was a Devontae Adams owner last year. Garoppolo got killed. He knew he wasn't going to last the season. And then Aiden O'Connell didn't do much better. And Minshew's going to struggle this year with behind that O-line. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah, it's just, it was all the buzz for Zamir White, and he pretty much threw it away. Like, you got to break some tackles, get over 50 yards rushing. But that's my dud of the week. Let me hear your 2 studs, and your 2 duds, because I'm interested. I feel like I know who they're going to be, but also we made it clear that you were not going to tell me everything. You alluded to the dud, which I kind of figured you were going to choose them. But let me hear your studs first.
So my stud is for the kicker is Jake Moody. Like 26 points out of a kicker is absurd. It's very rare that you see that. It takes me back to my first ring when I had Matt Bryant, when he would put up consistently 15 a week. So it reminds me of him. After he destroyed me like a couple of years prior, I picked him up and he just dominated. It's like Kevin Durant going to Warriors. That's what that was. And then, so Tim getting 26 points is insane. That wins your weeks. It's like
it does.
Fantasy football, no matter how much you study, if a kicker gets 26 and beats you, it's like, what are you gonna do at that point? It's brutal stuff.
I fortunately was able to I faced Jake Moody, and if we did traditional Yahoo leagues where the 13 to 20 point range was only 1 point, I lose. But Miano prefers it to be 10-4-2 or however that scoring goes, 10-7-4-2, 0. He likes that better. That's literally the reason why I won. So I was fortunate, but I know a lot weren't. Who is your second stud?
My second stud is the guy who buried me in my matchup. It was Cooper Kupp. He started off slow. He chipped, and it was just torture watching. He was like 5 for 20 to start. And then Puka went out, and I knew it was over. And then he ended up finishing with 21 targets, 14 catches, 110 yards, and a score.
I thought he was going to break the catch record. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah, I thought it was. I knew it was
I thought it was. I thought it was over.
The second Puka went out, I knew it was. I knew I stuck a fork in my matchup.
Did you send the text though?
I did not say GG's to Fandy. No.
Okay.
There was no GG's. He can confirm that. It was not said.
Right.
I gave him my word.
To be fair, I did say GG's to my opponent, but it was until after the matchup was over.
Yeah, I didn't say GG's.
All right. All right.
A little butthurt.
Yeah, I mean, week 1, understandable.
Yep. Yep. So yeah. As long as Puka's out, I think he's a top five receiver.
Oh, I agree with
Until
you.
Puka
Even
comes
with
back.
Puka, I think he's still
No,
flip.
Puka's gonna have those weeks that like Cooper
Yeah.
Cup's just gonna be eh.
I still think he
But
flirts with top five, even if Puka stays healthy.
that's fair. But I think he's like almost guaranteed
Yeah.
if Puka's out. I think he's out for at least 4 weeks. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he's getting put on IR, so it's minimum 4 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks minimum.
Mm-hmm. And my dud of the week is my third round pick, Chris Olave, who had he had 2 points. Two catches for 11 yards. I do think he will bounce back, but
Wait, 2 catches for how many yards?
11.
Oh,
Yep.
wow.
Yeah, I do think he will bounce back, but it was terrible to watch seeing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Derek Carr threw the ball like 9 times, and it was 30-0. I'm just like, I guess it helped me a little bit because I had Kamara too, so they ran it, and then
Yeah.
got a nice day to him. But get a little more than that. Come on, man. If my players who dropped the ball were average, I would have won. But that's neither here nor there.
No, I get you.
But yeah, he's my dud of the week. I do think he will bounce back, but seeing that was brutal stuff.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that one. So we've talked a bit about kickers. I have a stat for you that I want to share. There were 23 field goals made of over 50 or more yards this past weekend.
Yep.
Boswell had 3, Moody had 2, Groupie had 2, Aubrey had 2, Fairbairn had 3, McLaughlin had 3, Santos, Dicker, Sanders, Myers, Gano, Little, Hopkins, and McPherson also had a field goal of 50 plus. I don't know if that's a record, but the kickers
are getting better.
The kickers were phenomenal this weekend. Like in years past, you're like, oh, if you don't have like I know like last year's like if you don't have McPherson, Aubrey, Tucker, or there was like one other one, like you're just streaming it. I think now there's like a pool of like 8 to 10 kickers where you're like, yeah, I'll draft him and just they'll be my kicker for the season. I just think the kickers have gotten that good.
Yeah. I agree. Kickers are just so much better. Like 50-yard field goals are like almost not automatic, but like you expect them to hit it. If they miss it, it's a shock, even for 50 or more. And like anything within that, it's like you should be like, okay, that's 3 points. Okay, that's 4 points.
Yeah.
Like you don't see any more Billy Cundiff wide rights anymore as much. You really don't.
Not the Billy Cundiff. What about the Eddie Pinheiro?
Blair Walsh. That was another one.
Oh no, dude! Don't you know the story with me and Blair Walsh, right?
Refresh my memory.
So I had him one year, and he got 200 fantasy points in the season. I'm like, this dude's electric. And in the 8th, 9th round flop, like I went like wide receiver and then Blair Walsh because like dude got 200. He's like he's the next Vinatieri. He's just gonna be money, or like next Gostowski. He's just gonna make every field goal. He got like maybe 140 points that year, and that was the year in the playoffs he missed that 20-yard chip shot or whatever. Yeah, that was a bad pick by me. Looking back at it, but I was so confident because he got 200 fantasy points the year before. I was like 200 points out of a kicker in 13 weeks. Like,
yeah,
I was like, not 13, it was 16 if you count because he counts like all the playoffs game rounds too. But I was just like 200 points in 16, like 15, 16 weeks. I was like, that's like quality out of a kicker. Like you got to take a good kicker, and he's good. No, he kind of fizzled out and everything, but yeah, Blair Walsh was the guy who I was standing on a hill for, and he burned me.
Yeah.
All right. Well, those are some good studs and some surprising duds. Let's move over to our bold prediction of the week. First and only, but my bold prediction of the week is I think the Jets bounce back, and they're going to beat the Titans by 20 plus points. The Niners are a force. So, Yeah, granted, one score was in garbage time, but scoring almost 20 points against Niners D, even though one was the touchdown was like truly garbage time, but still
Hmm.
scoring 19 points against the Niners D, and honestly, they held them to a lot of field goals. So I think the Jets defense is legit, and their offense will definitely bounce back. Garrett Wilson will definitely have a bigger role. Brees Hall will be able to probably break through a few tackles and get some good runs in.
Yep.
I don't think Will Levis is it. I think the Titans are going to mightily struggle, and the Jets I think are going to truly shut them down. It could be a 23-3 win, but I think they win by 20 points.
Yeah. Um, yeah. I also my first prediction's also a blowout. For the Monday night games, Eagles Falcons. I expect the Eagles to win by two or more touchdowns. I just think they're gonna rout him. I don't think I Kirk was not moving around good. I saw some highlights.
Yeah.
I don't think he's fully healthy yet. I think he's trying to
No.
play because he's making a shitload of money, but
No, I
I
agree
don't
with
think
you.
he's fully healthy. I think the Eagles are gonna blow him out on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, no, honestly, that's bold, but I could see it happening for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, those good bold predictions of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Let's pivot over to our bet of the week.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep.
Um, so mine kind of it might be kind of a throwaway bet, but I liked Brown's money line plus 124.
Mm-hmm. So this isn't the parlay of the week,
No,
right?
it's just a like, because the parlay is just for fun. You know what I mean? But if you
Yeah,
want
yeah,
to
yeah,
if
yeah.
you want to win some like quick cash,
Okay.
like throw a dollar. Like if you're like this is gonna hit, like I'm not gonna throw the house on it, but like if I want to bet $5 and guarantee I'm gonna make some money this weekend, I'm saying Browns money line plus 124. They're facing the Jaguars. I've kind of said before. I think it's a dumpster fire in Jacksonville. I think the Browns are going to be 1-1 come Monday.
Mm. Yeah, I bet I like Buccaneers plus 7.5. I think that's going to be a really close game. I think Baker Mayfield's rolling. They have some good weapons in
So
Tampa.
are they a favorite or the dog?
They're plus 7.5
Okay,
dogs.
okay.
So that's my
Do
that's
you know
my bet
what
of the week.
the line's at?
The It's plus 7.5
Yep.
Buccaneers minus 115.
Okay. So straight
Mm-hmm.
up, it might not be the greatest bet, but hey, if you want to make sure you at least win something this weekend, yeah, I agree with you on that one. I do. I mean, the Bucks are gonna. I think the Bucks are gonna be a fun game to watch, a fun team to watch. They're going to score. Baker has that chemistry with his
Mm-hmm.
receivers. Rashad White's just a great running back. So
Yep.
yeah, it's minus one. It's minus 115. But I think that they the it could be a 27-20 game, and like boom, your bet hits.
Mm-hmm.
Like so, that's a good bet. I like that.
Yep.
All right. Um, but yeah, so those are some good bets. Hey, maybe parlay both of them. Parlay
Yeah.
parlay the bets of the week. That's your call.
Oh yeah.
All right. But all right. Chugging along. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about before we do go into our parlays?
No, let's do the parlays. I'm ready.
Awesome, dude. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. All right. How about you start first? Because I'm gonna type in yours right now.
I did a team one because for my last parlay, T Higgins 2 days later said, "Oh, I pulled a hammy. I got
Oh,
hurt, so I won't do
actually,
it."
sorry, Tony. I'm gonna interrupt you. Let's review our bets and parlays of last week.
Mhm.
I completely forgot about that. We're on the fly here, folks. All right. So we already said our bets of the week. I forgot a review last week, so sorry. Gonna backtrack a little, then I'll get back to it, Tony. So last week I had Cowboys money line, which was plus 114. That
Mhm.
hit, baby. How do you do a check mark? I'm on Google Docs.
Mhm.
Uh, I'll just highlight it green. And then T. Higgins, yeah, that,
It voided. Yep.
yeah. So I'm going to gray that out.
I thought he was gonna do really good, but he didn't play.
Nolan voided. And then parlays of the week. My parlay last week was Bills win 7 to 12 points. That did not happen. Cardinals, New Orleans under 42. That did not happen. And Laporta anytime. That did not happen either. I was miss. Yours, T. Higgins anytime. Ramondre 40 plus. Was that rushing yards?
Yes.
And Bengals -8. That did not hit either.
1 for 3 on that one.
Yeah, but it's a parlay, so
Yep.
it's a loss. So, oh gosh, what's I gotta go to the betting odds calculator. American odds 114. So if we were to bet $1 on all 4 bets, we would be, I got a calculator this. So we would have bet $4. We would have won $214. So let's get this calculator out. So it'd be $4 minus $214. So we are bear with me here.
No worries.
So, betting. So we are currently at $1.86. No, minus $1.86, right? Because we bet. Yeah, so.
Gotcha.
So yeah, betting. If we bet $4, we made $2.16 on the Cowboys bet. Actually, it wouldn't be that. It would be because your bet voided.
Yep. Because T. Higgins pulled a hammy.
So it wouldn't be $1.86. It would be currently at an 86-cent deficit for the bet of last week. All right.
All right, I got my parlay ready.
Perfect. So all right, yeah. So right now we're at minus 86 cents on the year in the bets. All right. So let me hear it, Tony. Let me hear the bet. Let me hear the odds of it, and then let's hear the total odds.
All right. We got Jets money line at minus 170.
Yep.
Chiefs -5. They're playing Cincinnati.
Yep.
And Commanders -2. That line recently moved. It was 1.5. Now it's 2.
Ooh, okay. What are the odds for the Chiefs and the Commanders?
The Chiefs are -110. The Commanders are -108. And the 3-pick parlay odds is +483.
+43.
Yep.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
I didn't want someone to get hurt, so I'm like, I'm gonna do a team one this week.
Yeah, no, that's smart. Alrighty. So, I actually really like that. I'm probably gonna tail that bet actually. Right after this, I'll tail it. So.
Yep. Well, I'm gonna place it. Let me do that.
Yeah. Actually, I bet you a lot of people are going to tail that in our betting group.
Oh yeah. All right. Let's hear yours.
Alrighty. Alright, so my first one is Ramondre Stevenson, 100+ rushing and receiving yards. Commanders Giants. Crud. I didn't fill it all in. I want to say it's the under, but let me just pull it up and confirm.
Mm-hmm.
Bear with me. Sorry. We're doing it on the fly, folks. We're live. All right. My bets open. Yeah. The Commanders Giants under. /U. So yeah, the Commanders Giants over under 43 points, which is so Ramondre's rushing receiving is plus 180. Commanders Giants over under. I'm betting the under of 43 at minus 110, and then I'm betting Pacheco 2 plus touchdowns, which is at plus 475, which totals the parlay at plus 2,973.
Oh,
It's a juicy parlay, and I feel like the Pacheco 2 plus touchdowns is something to worry about, but they're facing the Bengals, and Ramondre ran all over the Bengals, and Pacheco arguably is a better running back than Ramondre.
Mm-hmm.
And if Ramondre can score 2 touchdowns with what he has on his team, I think the Chiefs will. Pacheco is going to be able to score 2 plus touchdowns for the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But yeah, that parlay, it's a fat parlay. I think that will be a good one to hit.
Oh yeah, I like it a lot.
Yeah. So Ramondre, I don't think he does 120 rushing yards again, but he had 145 all-purpose yards. Subtract 45, I still think against. I looked at what Denver's D allowed for the Broncos. I think Ramondre could do that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the over-under is the biggest one to worry about because one team could just absolutely obliterate the other team. Those are two bottom 5 teams, so anything can happen. But
yeah, I could see that being a gutter battle.
Yeah. I'm going to be honest, I thought the Saints-Panthers was going to be a gutter battle, but Saints somehow looked like Drew Brees was still in the field, so, But, yeah, so those are our 3-way bets of the day. Little 3-leg parlays. We also have our bet of the week, so, you got plenty to choose from. If you want to straight up copy it, once again, my bet is Ramondre 100-plus rushing receiving yards at plus 180. Commanders, Giants under 43 at minus 110. Pacheco 2 plus touchdowns at plus 475. That totals 29.73. And Tony's 3-way parlay is Jets money line at minus 170. Chiefs minus 5 which is minus 110. Commanders at minus 2. Their lines at minus 2 at minus 108, which totals plus 483. So do those. Make three-way parlays. Copy us. Make it a 6-way parlay, which is just crazy.
Whoa. Double
the sauce, double the cheese, double the mayo.
Oh yeah.
But or pick and mix and match our parlays. Those are good things we're confident in. We are degenerate bettors. Or even add in our bets of the week to those parlays and make them 4-leggers. But those and then we'll follow back up next week with where we're at. Mm-hmm. Which I got I got the calculator saved, so we'll be able to kind of go where we're at, and, add, subtract, see where we're at with the bets, and hey, who knows? Maybe we'll go better than 1-3-1 this weekend like what we did last weekend in bets.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, let's finish off. As you know, I love to do. Let's check out our matchups this week in our Big Money League. So, I will review your matchup first, and then you can review my matchup. Right now, you are facing the number 1 ranked team in our league, although you are projected to win. So, with that being said, quarterback matchup. You got Kyler. He's got Brock Purdy. Kyler's projected more points, but he is facing the Rams. The Rams did a really good job of shutting down Jared Goff.
Mm-hmm.
Brock Purdy's facing Minnesota. Minnesota defense looked kind of good. It but I will edge Kyler purely on his scrambling capabilities. It's like a 51 to 49%.
Fair.
Wide receivers, your opponent has Mike Evans and Jalen Reed. You got CD and Olave. I am favoring your receivers purely
Mm-hmm.
because of CD Lamb.
Yeah.
Olave might have another tough day. However,
Mm.
Mike Evans is against Detroit, good defense, and Jalen Reed is against Indy, not as good, but he lost his quarterback. So I
Yeah.
think purely on the back of CD, you have the edge at receiver.
Sounds good to me.
Running backs. You have Kenneth Walker currently in there, who's questionable, and you have Alvin Kamara. Your opponent's got Rashad White and Ramondre Stevenson. He's got the edge at
Mm-hmm.
running back. Matchup wise, and I just think overall, uh, as overall with who he's got.
Okay.
So, Kamara is going to have a tough day against Dallas, and Kenneth Walker might not even play. So it's gonna. I'm sorry, but I'm going with his running backs.
Yep.
Tight ends: Mark Andrews against the Raiders and Evan Ingram against Cleveland. You got to assume Mark Andrews is going to have a bounce back game, so I'm leaning Mark Andrews.
That's fine.
At flex, he's got Keon Coleman, and he's got a player playing Thursday in flex. Rookie move. And you got Keenan Allen against Houston. I think Houston defense is going to let up a lot of points, but they're going to score more points on it. Like the Houston offense will score more points, so they'll win more games. I'm leaning Keenan Allen if he
Mm-hmm.
plays because he also has a questionable tag.
Yeah. He always does that though.
Yeah, I know. He's got a questionable tag for 14 weeks of the year.
Yeah.
Kickers. He's got Cairo Santos. You got Harrison Butker. Purely for matchup, I'm going to go Harrison Butker. I think he's just going to have more ops for PATs and field goals. Cairo Santos, who knows? Because they might have more 3-and-outs.
Mm-hmm.
Defenses. You got the Chargers D against Carolina. He's got Miami against Buffalo. Do I need to say who I'm favoring?
Nope.
Los Angeles
And
D.
yeah.
Easy. Um, both of your team's benches are pretty beat up, so
Yeah.
I don't know. That's kind of a just kind of a wash because who knows if someone
Yeah.
like if Kenneth Walker doesn't go, I guess you have Jamal Williams. You could maybe run the double New Orleans backs, but
Yeah. Running back slipped like the round. Yep. I know.
yeah, so yeah, you got Gibby too, but I don't know. So
Eh.
we'll see. You are favored to win, so and I do think I favored your guys a little bit more than his guys, so we'll see how it goes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It'll be a great bounce back if you win this week.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I hope I win.
I hope you win too. Happy Tony's the
Mm-hmm.
best Tony.
Yep.
All right, now my
Your
matchup.
matchup.
I'm ready to listen.
All right. You're playing Danny.
The bog.
Yep. We got Goff versus Herbert. I think this is closer than what it says because Herbert's playing Carolina and Tampa Bay is no slouches. But I'm gonna give the slight edge to you because because I just think Goff has more weapons. So I'm giving the
Yeah.
slight edge to you at QB
Okay.
because Carolina just stinks. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I completely. If you were to go Herbert, I wouldn't doubt. I wouldn't be like really. I would be like, yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, it's against Carolina.
Yep, and I think your biggest separation is your receivers against his. He has Amari and Terry, and you have Nico Collins and Rasheed Rice. I think your receivers clear his pretty significantly, so I'm gonna go with your receivers. The running backs, it's a little closer. It's Brees Hall and Jerome Ford on your side, and he has ETN and Derrick Henry. I do think Derrick Henry is gonna do well. He's home against the Raiders, so that he might have a good week. But I still give the slight edge to you. Because Brees Hall's playing Tennessee, and I expect him to do really good. So slight edge to you on running back. So for tight end, we have McBride versus Dallas Goddard. I'm going McBride here because I think he's going to bounce back.
Mm-hmm.
And another big discrepancy, which is good for you, is Debo Samuel versus Lad McConkey. I'm going Debo because Debo's proven, and he got like 5 carries, and he's also gonna get targets.
You're
So
not going with a
Debo,
Lod?
nope, I'm not going with McConkey. Nope. And then you have the kicker. I think it's a crapshoot. It's Young Ho Koo, which he likes to draft, and then you have Jason Sanders going tomorrow. And then two elite defenses. You got the Jets on the Bog side and San Francisco on your side. So I also think that's a crapshoot. So I think the projection's about right. You're a favorite, as you should be. So yeah, I think you have a great shot to win.
Yeah. I will say this. I appreciate you choosing my wide receivers, in the wide receiver
Mm-hmm.
slots. However, Amari Cooper's facing Jacksonville and Terry McLaurin's facing the Giants.
Still though,
Yeah.
it could be a better battle.
I agree with you. That's what I'm most worried about. And then also, I mean, I have to play Dallas Goddard because Njoku is out. Njoku's the tight
Mm-hmm.
end I wanted, and he got hurt instantly. He
Yep.
so that's it is what it is. But yeah, no, I mean, it should be another fun matchup for me. Let's see. Oh wow, he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people going at 1 o'clock. I hate that. As a fantasy owner, I like honestly, I would rather my opponent have a couple at 1, couple at 4, a Sunday night and a Monday night guy. I hate it just like because I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Technically, including Thursday night, I have 6 people going, so it's not too far off. But like, if let's just say you have one Thursday, 3 1 o'clocks, the rest are like 4 Sunday night and Monday. It's just like, oh, I'm down 86-40. It's like, yeah, I've had no like this past weekend. Like my opponent had like majority of their team done by the 4 o'clocks, and I only had like 2 people go. So I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm down 85-30, but like I haven't had anyone go yet. So we just got to see how it pans out. That's just
Yeah.
I that's always been one of my like I hate it because it just looks so much worse than what it really is.
Yeah, for sure.
But no, it should be good. Football's back in full swing. We got an extra 15 minutes on the cast tonight. Still within our 1 hour cap that I like to have. I like to go no more than an hour.
Mm-hmm.
But another great week. Another great week of talking about fantasy and betting
Mm-hmm.
and football
Oh
in
yeah.
general. So
Indeed.
thank you so much, Tony, for being on again. We're again next week, right?
I don't know. I
No,
know it
it's
was.
me and Jake next week. So
Oh,
it's
nice.
yep. So Jake next week, buddy Dave the next week, then you again. Then I got Miano and Morris.
Mm-hmm.
Um, then I got my buddy Dave again. Then it's you, Miano and Morris, Jake. And then I don't know who I'm doing for week 12. Actually, I don't know who I'm doing for week 7. I gotta figure that out. Cause my buddy Dave is week 12. Then you again for 13 and 14. So it
Yep.
will be a fun ride. Got some core people helping me out on the show. You're, you know, co-hosting, which is great. Majority of the weeks, I always love talking
Mm-hmm.
sports with you.
Oh yeah.
Sports and wrestling. We could literally sit on a porch sipping whiskey all night talking about sports and wrestling.
Yep. Absolutely.
So it'll be fun, Tony. I will talk to you again week 5, and I got Jake
Mm-hmm.
next week. So hope you have a great rest of your night, and as always, appreciate you being on the show.
Yep. Thank you for having me, and have a good night as well.
All right, dude. I'll see you later.
Take it easy.
All right, chat. That's gonna be it for us. I'll see you guys next week. Hope you guys have a great rest of your night and enjoy week 2.